A lot of WBEZ hats here. All right, so the number one issue is stock? No. So there is no number one issue. But we can't pick one.
They've been screwing you.
Okay.
One issue is you're a sucker.
Okay.
What the hell's the matter with you? What the hell's the matter with you?
I'm a both sider. I'm trying to understand the issue.
You're not a both sider.
Why not?
I used to vote Republican until these jackasses came along.
What are you talking about? I'm just asking you, what is the issue here?
Do you support Trump?
I don't know. I'm trying to be sold. Can you sway me?
You know what? Go on over there. I'm
Go
going
on
to go
over
get the
there
cops.
with the rest
Okay.
of the suckers.
All right, go ahead.
I'm sick of you people with amnesia.
My people?
Yes.
Did you say you people?
Yes. You people.
The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters: Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, JM, and Paul G. Gentlemen.
Good morning.
Skoo Walker.
Good morning.
Hi, baby. That's right.
Thank you for having me back as a guest. Thanks for bashing me last week for not being on the show.
Thanks for showing up when you want to. Just like you show up at a bar or whatever.
You're like Don Rickles on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. You just come and go as you want.
Skoo,
Okay.
you're a host. You show up whenever you want.
Hey, that's what you
It's
do.
just me as a host. I have to be here every
That
week.
is true.
Or there's nothing. So
Well, it's an honor to
You have a
be
guest host.
back on here.
so boys, I missed you in Libertyville.
What was Libertyville?
I think Skoo and I had lint. We had lint in our dryers to clean. That was more we'd rather be doing.
I have never seen 2 more conflict-averse individuals in my life.
What was that all about? One, the audio was bad.
Oh, really?
Nice job on the audio.
Okay. Walk up and down in 20-degree weather in a t-shirt, talking to people that want to kill you.
Why?
Exactly. Why? No reason.
No, why walk in 20-degree weather in a t-shirt?
Well, if I didn't go there, a couple reasons. One, I'm pretty fired up that there's a possibility that change is happening in the government for the better. And in my lifetime, I don't see an opportunity that's going to happen like this. So I'm going to maximize whatever time I have left on this planet to take advantage of this. Number 2, going out there at the Tesla dealership,
What was it? Anyway, all seriousness, what was it?
What was what? It was a
Why?
protest.
What was going on?
You had about 450 Lake County Democrats on one side, and you had about 30 Republicans on the other side. I get so I walked up and down, and I'm just trying to understand what's going on, because I know the people that work at that dealership, regular Joes working at a joint, and you got these people coming over disrupting things, and I'm sure they got paid for that hour or whatever, but still they're protesting what? I mean, this is a business that's trying to generate tax revenue, and you have the Lake County Democrats thumping their chests that they brought 400 people out. But when you go into the crowd and walking up and down, you can't get anybody to tell you why they're protesting. And when they do tell you, it's something that popped off of MSNBC, which is fine, but you have to be able to drill to the second or third level of the headline. So I was called you guys, you people. A lot of WBEZ hats here. All right, so the number one issue is stock? No. So there is no number one issue. But we can't pick one.
The farmers. They've been screwing you.
Okay.
One issue is you're a sucker.
Okay.
What the hell's the matter with you? What the hell's the matter with you?
I'm a both sider. I'm trying to understand the issue.
You're not a both sider.
Why not?
I used to vote Republican until these jackasses came along.
What are you talking about? I'm just asking you, what is the issue here?
Do you support Trump?
I don't know. I'm trying to be sold. Can you sway me?
You know what? Go on over there. I'm
Go
going
on
to go
over
get the
there with
cops.
the rest of
Okay.
the suckers.
I'm going to get the
All right, go ahead.
I'm sick of you people with amnesia.
My people.
Yes.
Did you say you people?
Yes. You people.
Not use guys? No use guys?
And what is so damn disappointing is what caught my eye to it was Holly Kim, who we've had the show, the treasurer of Lake County. She seems like a decent person. I've had no reason to give her any issues. She had some problems when in her early goings when she double sent checks or whatever her problems was.
Homeowners, and a lot of them in Lake County, Illinois, double paid their property taxes. Instead of making one payment, families with auto pay from a checking account got hit with 2 withdrawals. We heard from one concerned homeowner, and others also posted on the treasurer's Facebook page. And then we discovered this Facebook page. The same thing happened back in 2020. And at that time, Treasurer Holly Kim wrote, quote, "We have taken steps to ensure this issue does not arise again." Today, CBS 2's Tim McNicholas asked the treasurer about that pledge.
Why didn't that happen? Why wasn't there something found to make sure this didn't happen again?
So at that time, it was a coding glitch because it didn't separate it into 1/4 of a payment. This one's different because this one was human error.
Some people are wondering, is this going to happen a third time now? What would your message be to folks who have that question?
I don't want that to happen either. We take this very seriously. I'm actually very disappointed this happened even a second time. But like I told you, 2 different variables. So with the changes we made in not only the manual, but retraining the staff, which has happened already, one of the things that I'm looking into is how this could be a further automated process to maybe have less human error involved.
Treasurer Kim says the error affected about 3,000 taxpayers and believes all the overpayments have been returned. But if anyone is hit with overdraft or other fees, they should contact her office for help.
Which is ironically because of the backbone of the technology of Lake County government is suspect. So I can't wait for Doge to go in there. But what got me kind of fired up was she forwarded a post from Lake County Democrats, of which she's a vice chair, whatever that is. And she says nobody elected Elon Musk. And I know nobody likes to get in politics because nobody likes to have a difficult conversation or
I thought she was a Republican.
No.
well, in
No.
the day I thought she said on the show
Back in the day, she worked for Bob. Back in the day, she worked, I believe, or interned for Bob Dold. But
well, whatever.
she
She's
moved left.
yeah.
Or the party moved, or the Republican Party moved right. You can
No, she moved because what I see that she is doing as being vice chair of the Lake County Democrats, she took that opportunity to say, hey, look, I brought 450 people out and here's some hot cocoa.
Did you get any?
No, I didn't. I was trying
Dang, so you got nothing, and you wore shorts and what is wrong with you?
No, I wore jeans.
Get some clothes. Get a good pair of jeans and a coat, please.
Why would I want to do that? It wasn't below 0 degrees. Come on, man up. So what's disappointing about Holly is she's using that as a stepping stone to, further herself in politics, of which she told us on the show that that's not what she is all about. Whatever.
That was me and my friend went out for a beer, and that night we're like, you know what? Like, we should run for office. Like, we'll fill these empty storefronts. Like, it's different ways of thinking. Like, and it allows more for like the residents, right? I'm a huge like property rights person too. So like we clanked our beers. We're like, yeah, and like
sounds very Republican.
That was it.
You sure you're Democrat? Hold on now.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
you
she
go
goes
in-
to the
I-
enterprise. She wants to give the market the opportunity to make decisions, and she wants to give businesses
Small government.
opportunity.
But what really fired my ass, besides a flame 3 feet high, was she does her own live feed.
Hey guys, it's me, Holly. I just parked, and this protest in front of the Tesla dealership actually has hundreds of people. I am parked way out in the nosebleeds. The entire parking lot is full, and I'm walking in. So I guess my long walk gives me an opportunity to answer some questions from the last post that advertised it. One, it's not my event, but number two, one of the things I have long loved, effing loved about the United States of America is our First Amendment right to assemble, peaceful assembly, and our freedom of speech. Some of you who are newer to this page don't know that I held workshops on knowing your rights. And one of the workshops I held, and you can Google it, it was in the newspaper, is how to throw a successful protest. I have long loved that fact about the United States, is that you could go to any public space, and really the class went over what's a public space, what's a private space, what's a permit you have to fill, things like that. And really a successful protest means your message was heard and everyone went home safely, including yourself, including law enforcement. And so there are plenty of times I've driven around in the last few years, and there's stuff on the side of the road I disagree with, but they have every right to do it. And so because it was posted, the counter protesters are also here. There's hundreds of people here from both sides. I'm for those who just tuned in, like right now, I'm making a long walk from the parking lot. So I'm walking over there. I brought some hot chocolate and some hand warmers for anyone who wants to be warm. But in about 50 feet, I'll show you the signs the other way. Right now, there's nothing. So yeah, I remember a long time ago, my state rep, who was Ed Sullivan Jr. at that time, had a particularly raucous town hall. And I recall him saying, I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will fight for your right to say it. I'll fight tooth and nail for your ability to say that. And it has stuck with me. I remember that phrase. And so even if there's protests and rallies or anything I disagree with, darn tootin', you have the right to do it. That's a great thing about America. So the honks are close.
Welcome.
Now you know I'm closer. Hi.
Hi.
I brought some hot chocolate and dropped off some things. So I'm gonna go take a walk over there. You're welcome. All right, so we're supposed to walk on this side to be safe. Yes, I will. Okay.
Oh, I would love to.
Would you
Trying to pack my dog.
hold that one? Okay. All right. So it's in front of the dealership. Some of the questions, go ahead and ask your questions at the bottom. I'm not shying from questions. I was just so busy, you guys. For those of you who know, I'm literally on fast forward all the time, so it's hard to go backwards. For those who are worried about, people coming in for oil changes or service, that's not really going to be an issue today. They're not blocking the driveway. They're just kind of in the public right of way. So
this section over here has like the Trump supporters in it, and they've come because of their counter protests. We have lots of police here from Vernon Hills, from Libertyville. Thank you, officers, for keeping everyone safe. And the guy playing the drums. This is everyone's right to do so. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, the great thing about America. I swear to God, the day that we can't speak out about our government is the day we become communist China, right? Am I right? So, hey, our First Amendment rights, right?
That's right.
Yo.
God bless you.
So,
I'm taking both sides here.
hey, we got the podcast here. Hey,
Holly, I was looking
ask
for you.
me all your questions. First of all, let me give you a fucking hug. Wait, let me sure. We're doing it at the same time. All right, ask me all the things because I didn't get a chance to. You know, I'm like so busy all the time.
Well, Holly.
Well, first, let's get on.
Hey, man,
I've told you before, you can't be standing in the driveway.
Holly,
Let me talk to you. Hey, let me talk to you. There's already been
So the officer is telling the podcast guy not to stand in the driveway. See, they're making sure people can get in for their oil changes. Now, he had some questions on my last post, which is why we're hanging out here to talk. Sorry you got, you know, they want to make sure people are able to get their oil changes in.
Job. Last thing I want to do is make life tough.
Yeah, ask me all the
So,
questions
Holly,
from the other day.
All right, Holly. Why would you put a post from Occupy? Was it Occupy Democrats or is it Occupy Lake County?
No, it was Lake County Democrats. Yeah.
Okay, Lake County.
Lake County Democrats are hosting this event.
Why would you post something that says we didn't elect Elon Musk?
It's true, we didn't elect him.
But who did we elect?
Well, I did.
What did 77 million people elected who?
Right, the president is the president, and
He can choose who to pick to use as a consultant, right?
So when I was driving around back during COVID time, I recall all the people who had signs about how they disagree with Fauci, and I felt like that was their First Amendment right.
That's not what I just brought up. What I asked
But if people can have those signs saying they disagree with Fauci at that time, or unmask our kids, or all that on the side of the road, this is actually just a First
But you as Lake County
Amendment
treasurer posted we didn't elect Elon Musk when you knew that we elected 77 million elected Donald Trump. And
I think Donald Trump and Elon Musk are two different people, right?
They are two different people, but one is using the services of another in the consulting capacity. Why is that wrong?
So I see exactly what you're saying, but in the same vein, when
Can
people...
you answer that question, yes or no?
So the same people who said that are the ones who are like, Fauci was also appointed, right? And we didn't elect Fauci.
So we're going to divert? We're not going to answer
But
the
they
question.
had every right to do that.
Holly,
so this is where I agree, is that everyone has a First Amendment right to say anything they want in a public space. And whether that's standing in front of Jewel and saying that eggs are too expensive, or if they want to stand at the corner and be vermin supreme with a boot on their head, that's the part about America I love. We have every right to do this. And you know what?
That's a perfect talking point.
There's actually nothing wrong with either of this happening here today.
I'm going back to where you and I disagree on.
You do know that statistically, we want to agree 100% on things, right? Yeah, I mean...
Holly, we didn't elect Elon Musk, but are you saying we can't not use Elon Musk as a consultant?
So here's when...
You can't answer it.
So when I was on the show, this is what we talked about, right? I come from the tech sector. I'm actually not opposed to disruption.
Okay.
So the difference is...
That's why I'm shocked.
This is government. I know. You were like, I am from the tech sector. For those who don't know, I am also a disruptor. Lots of pushback, lots of gnashing of teeth when I change things in my office. But change is inevitable, and sometimes it has to be done, right? And so I'm not opposed to change. Actually, I am not opposed to change at all. It's just the way it's done for government needs more transparency. And I'm an advocate for maximum government transparency and maximum personal privacy. So
that is so cool, and I don't know how long you had to go to Democrat boot camp to get that one down. But are you saying that
some of this harkens from my past when I was an independent? So
I thought you were Republican too, no?
You know what? I have been told frequently if I ever want to switch sides, the gate's wide open. But I have my side. I have my side. I'm on the
treasurer of Lake County.
No, I'm Holly Kim, the president, right?
Okay, but you are the treasurer that forwarded something from the...
Hold on 1 second.
You getting tough? You got to stop.
Yes! See, that's the thing. It's like they're exercising their freedom of speech. And I think
yes or no? We'll go our separate ways,
Sorry.
maybe.
Let's be good.
Does Trump have the power, or can he allow Elon Musk to be used as a consultant to figure out where the waste is?
I can't go on that side, but why can you guys stand over here?
I don't know. We're like further in the parking lot. No, we're further
It's
in the
her
parking
fault.
lot. He already got yelled at. Yeah.
That I can't go over there.
Yeah, let's go on your side. I already went
So
to you.
all the contractors, have to go through a process, right? Especially of a certain dollar amount.
You didn't answer the question, so no.
That happens in government at every level,
So
whether it's at the village or. I just don't think it went through any process. Right? I don't think anyone watching would actually be against Doge making these cuts had Doge done it the right way. Like, the process and everything that we have in government to see the proposals, what they want to do. Like I said, I'm not actually opposed to disruption at all. So this side here, let me show it to you, is very, very full.
I'm getting the seats next Friday. Okay, I'm going to take, and then I'll give them to Alicia.
Okay.
Okay?
She was talking about a seed swap that I'm a part of. So, hi.
How are you, Laura? Sorry. Okay, good. Are you doing?
Yes, would you like to?
Sure.
Sure. Okay, so what are you out here doing?
I'm protesting Elon Musk and the entire crime spree that he is running in Washington, D.C. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Elon Musk has got to go.
Great. We have a couple comments. Stay warm. We support you. How about having auditors instead of a bunch of teenagers? So let's do this sign here.
Kelly, can I do a quick pick of you and Mary?
Yes. Okay, sorry. They want to
This is for the newsletter now. Okay. Keep your hands off my Social Security.
So I'm going to walk towards the front here. One of the things people have actually loved about my page is it's kind of like a news page for the county, right? I mean, if there's something happening, hey, I'm going to be there.
We're protesting.
That's right. And it is in front of the Tesla dealership. No lie, it really is here. Yes, I am.
Oh, you're a treasure.
There's only a limited number. We had all those tech girls on there.
So I absolutely, number one, stand for everyone's First Amendment right to freedom of speech and peaceful gathering. And there you go. People can actually, for those of you who are watching in just a quick civics lesson, this sidewalk here is a demarcation line where there's like public land, and technically people can stand in public land to protest anything they want. So if you have a cause in the future that you want to protest, like, I saw in the comments today, someone in one of the groups said, hi, how are you?
Nice to see you.
I actually have hot chocolate in my, it's a giant crowd. I have hot chocolate, so I'm gonna walk around and pass it out in a second. Yes, it is actually a great crowd on both sides. Both sides have been, and I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm saying everyone's been very peaceful. On the other side of the driveway that demarks, the counter protest. So, this parkway technically is public right-of-way that anybody can assemble on, and I don't mean just right here in front of the Tesla dealership. It's just anywhere where there's land. In between the sidewalk to the front of the street is public land. So, in the future, if you want to, throw your own rally of any sort, that's the area to do it. There you go. Holly! Hey, Crystal Larson is here. That's right. Trans rights are human rights. I love it.
Love you.
Hi, good morning. So I have hot chocolate. I'll pass out once I reach out to the other end of this. I'm just walking from one side of the other. And like I said to Pete Jansons, who does the Lake Forest podcast, I absolutely love him. When it was Biden in power and there were all the Trump rallies at the corners, that was absolutely, you're right. The trucks, with a bunch of flags, and right? I'm not joining in with them, but absolutely that's why it's great to live in the United States of America, because still, to this point, we have our freedom of speech, and one of the things that affords us is our ability to speak out against the government. I always feel like that's like so rad about growing up and living here, because we saw that one year, one summer, how basically, is that why they're honking so much? Because of your side. It's a honk for democracy. Is that in China that one year all those students were protesting with umbrellas, and they were not only hosed, their faces were scraped for a database, and I would never want that here in this country, right? I love that we could speak out against government, and actually you can speak out against all sorts of things. It doesn't have to be government if you want to be on the side of the road. Like, you can literally be on the side of the road and be protesting, like, I demand there be more cheeses at the grocery store. Like, you could say anything at the, hi, thank you for your service, or speaking of cheese, wow, that was not even coincidental. I said, it says cheese on your no queso.
Yeah.
Oh, I touched the no-no spot. Social security number. Can I see the back of your, wait, oh, there's more signs. Okay, the back. No culture, no queso. Enjoy your planned life. And like, here's the thing too, is, when people say why in front of this dealership, why literally anywhere else, any public space is any public space. I'm showing the dealership, no one's going into the dealership and blocking any business from happening. I recall doing a Restore the Fourth protest one year against unwarranted search and seizure, and it was actually suggested to me by the village, that instead of doing it like in front of the village hall or just some main road, they go, well, if you're protesting something federal, how about in front of the post office? And I was like, the post office? Like, who's going to protest postal workers? And they were like, no, just the fact that if you're protesting something federal, the post office is something federal. And so I was like, okay, so I moved my rally on my paperwork to in front of the post office in Mundelein. But I mean, it's symbolic is what I'm trying to say. It's not that you're actually, like, I was not protesting the United States Postal Service, right? And there's nothing actively against like the employees and staff of Tesla here. They're just being symbolic. Do you want some hot chocolate?
No.
Oh, hey.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, good. So I just did a quick walk on both sides. I'm going to pass out some hot chocolate until I run out, and then I have other events to go to. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to.
Wait, hold on. Holly says she's going to debate me online on the Lake Forest Market.
I don't know if it's debate so much as have a great conversation. I think,
well, I'm not having very great conversations here because
you are wearing a t-shirt. This guy idles high. So does my brother. He idles high. So,
my point is, all right, here we go.
All right, I'm close for now, so I can pass out hot chocolate. Or else I just brought it for nothing. This is only a 1 hour rally.
And her walk through the crowd wasn't interviewing people, say, hey, how's it going? What are we here to talk about? She was just saying, she was patting herself on the back that, look, I did these classes on how to throw a successful protest. Look at all these people that are here. Yet I couldn't get any message from her why she was there, specifically on, is it okay for President Trump to use Elon Musk as a consultant to figure out where the waste is? And she couldn't answer it. So I am just, and then walking through the crowd and being called you people in this. A lot of WBEZ hats here. All right, so the number one issue is stock? No. So there is no number one issue. But we can't pick one.
The farmers. They've been screwing you.
Okay.
One issue. You're a sucker.
Okay.
What the hell's the matter with you? What the hell's the matter with you?
I'm a both sider. I'm trying to understand the issue.
You're not a both sider.
Why not?
I used to vote Republican until these jackasses came along.
Okay.
What are you talking about? I'm just asking you, what is the issue here?
Do you support Trump?
I don't know. I'm trying to be sold. Can you sway me?
You know what? Go on over there. I'm going to go get the cops.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm sick of you people with amnesia.
My people,
Yes.
Did you say you people?
Yes. You people.
I think the best conversation that I had there was with a Proud Boy.
If that.
What do you say?
What did I say?
Yeah.
I like what Elon's doing because he's finding all the corruption that even Democrats have been complaining about for freaking decades. But I think it's kind of weird these guys are out here saying we're the traitors and they're out here protesting someone who's getting rid of corruption.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them too, so it's kind of scary. You know? All those people don't think that it's good that we get rid of waste and billions of dollars. That's our tax money, their tax money. You know, it's crazy. And then one of them comes over here and attacks a young kid. It's like, what the fuck?
That's what they called you. That's doing pretty good because I've seen some of those where they call people a lot worse. Didn't some guy threaten you, make like a death threat against you online or your truck or something? I saw.
Oh, some guy
keyboard
says,
warrior.
He's going to throw some eggs at my truck, and I said, just let me know what street you drive by.
Except you can't get any eggs right now, so you're safe.
Did you go over to the Jet side and find out what was going on that side, or were you just on?
I did. I seriously, I did talk to a guy who, afterwards, and this is like how clueless I am. I'm looking at a guy with like PB, and it was a Proud Boy guy. And I'm just talking to him. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he seemed pretty, at least had a conversation with me. And the chant that he came up with was,
You're not smart! You're not smart! You're not smart! You're not smart!
You're not smart. I thought that was great. But I'm disappointed. This is what the Democrats are doing, and it's kind of making me realize that it is a waste of time to deal with Holly Kim, Anthony Ramos, what's his name?
Vega.
Vega. He's still on the good list. He hasn't done anything yet, but
I guarantee you he doesn't share your views on Trump and Musk. I'm willing to bet you a drink at the Lantern.
But
it's in Vega.
Skoo, can you run your checkbook in the red?
What?
Do you have overdraft protection on your checking account?
What's that?
Exactly. Why is it okay for us to be in debt, write checks that we don't have the money for, and we finally have somebody that's going in to kind of take care of this stuff, and you have people being upset about it? I'm scratching my head. And then talking.
They even write checks? Who's a check writer? Who signs the check?
I guess Holly Kim does. I don't know, but it was very disappointing. I put some of the interviews up. I did. You know what? What wasn't disappointing was I did meet a fine guy. I think his name was John. I don't know. I invited him to come on the show. He said he couldn't do it today, but maybe he'll do it next week. One of the Lake County Democrat people were walking around with a bucket of buttons. Democrat, it said vote for a Democratic president. I said, hey man, you got change? He goes, no. I go, well, if I give you a $5 bill, you can't, and I want to buy a button, you can't give me change. No, you don't have any money on you at all.
Venmo.
Wait, so they were selling the buttons or they were just handing them out?
No, they were selling them for $3. Great job, everybody. Great protest. Great job. We could have used a few more hymns, but that's okay. How much for a $3 button? Does anybody have $3 to buy a button? You got $3 to buy a button?
You want a button?
Yeah, I want a button. I don't have any cash.
Oh, okay, well, I got you.
Thank you.
Could you hold this for a second?
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. Well,
Hey, you want to? Here.
Thanks a lot.
Anybody want to take a picture for?
Let me do this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
Or can I buy a button from you? Absolutely. It would be my oops.
And they
nobody had change or Venmo.
And this guy didn't.
Why don't you just ask him if he can do a 2 for $5?
I didn't even
negotiate.
Look,
part of the deal.
I haven't had cash since I think 2018, but this nice guy John came up.
The government hasn't had cash since 1971, but that's another different story.
Well, that's okay. People don't mind. But this guy said, "Hey man, do you want a button?" I go, "Yeah, I want a button." And he forks over the $3 and I get a Democrat president button. So
you have it? Can you show us?
Huh?
Do you have it?
Yeah, I'll put it right here.
All right.
It's a nice button. I don't know.
I mean, and I know, Skoo, none of you guys are as political as me.
Joe, I know what you're going to say, okay, because you're a
Well, because I told you in a text what I was going to say, but
no, actually, I didn't read the text.
Oh, okay.
You're one that has made a living off of politics, correct? Yes.
I don't know. I think I'm not Elon Musk, but I think I've come out behind by doing it. So over the years, overall.
Okay, maybe you didn't get your job as a result of a political deal or whatever. Okay, maybe
setting that aside.
Oh, okay. You can't set it aside because you're part of the bureaucracy.
All right, but come on. Here's the deal. So in number one, as I've said on the last few shows, I agree with Trump and Musk cutting the government spending and cutting waste, all that stuff. More power to them. All for it. I know you guys don't like me talking about the time I was on the Board of Education, but the 8 years I was on the Board of Education.
Wait. What Board of Education were you on?
Hold on, Skoo, let me finish.
All right.
It doesn't matter which one it was. In the 8 years I served on a Board of Education, I still don't know what the hell the United States Department of Education does. So I'm all for eliminating it. Okay, that's been a goal of the Republican Party since Reagan was around. So if they can do that this time around, more power to them. But as far as protests and counter protests go, I view them as a total waste of time. What was accomplished on Saturday by either side? Zero.
No.
Did Elon Musk
Democrats
change
showed
his
that
point?
They could get 450 people out to show sign.
In a county of how many thousands of people? Big whoop. Okay. The vast majority of people. First, I mean, I will say this: Donald Trump lost Lake County badly. All right. Worse than any other Republican that was on the countywide ballot. He lost Lake Forest. The only place in Lake Forest he won was right here in Middle Fork. But your precinct, Skoo's precinct, Trump lost. So I can see where somebody like Holly Kim, look, I don't agree with her, but I can see where a Democratic elected official like Holly Kim is going to latch onto that. Just as if you went to McHenry County, which does vote Republican, I'm sure the local Republicans there are waving MAGA flags and holding up Trump signs and doing all sorts of stuff. And when Democrats were in office, they were protesting Democrats for the same reason. They're playing to the crowd of their county or their community, wherever their elected base is. So as long as Lake County keeps voting Democrat, you're going to see Democratic elected officials at stuff like that, just as you'll see Republican ones
connected that
to
Libertyville protests, Joe. Like what you had all those people.
But the protest itself, I've always said you have a constitutional right.
That's what Holly said too. But
hold on, but let me finish the sentence.
You're not saying anything.
No, I'm about to say something. You have a constitutional right to waste your time. Protests are a complete waste of time. Counter protests are a complete waste of time. Can someone name for me a protest that's ever resulted in an actual change? I can't.
Tylenol.
So what are these? This is all just their base, and then the counter protesters are the Trump base.
I'm not going there, Joe.
Blah blah blah.
Nobody cares. I'm not going there. Where I'm going.
Well, you went there. You literally
I'm going
went there.
My disappointment with Holly Kim. Should our tax dollars be paid for her to help schedule this thing?
Were tax dollars used?
I don't know.
How? I don't think they were. I mean,
if she's at her desk,
I sent a message just for, since Holly's been on the show, I sent a message to her saying, hey, do you want to come on the show and talk about it? She said, and her answer was yes, she'd be happy to.
I heard she used her coins to finance it.
She said she'd be happy to, but she can't do it during work hours because it's a political protest. She'll come on during work hours to talk about her work. She took time off that time to talk about that coin thing or whatever the Bitcoin thing was a few weeks ago. But Look, I don't agree with their criticisms of Musk, though I wish Musk would tone down some of his rhetoric.
Isn't her job 24/7?
Every elected official's job is 24/7.
Just asking.
So every politician campaigns. Okay, so I mean, name one that hasn't. I mean, Donald Trump is in campaign mode 24/7, as is every president. Does that mean that they can't? You know, there's whole sorts of rules. She didn't. I don't look. Like I said, I don't agree with her. I don't agree with the protests.
What don't you agree with?
I don't think she used
what specific
county
thing don't agree with?
Well, I don't agree with the criticisms of Musk
what did
and
she
Trump
say?
cutting spending.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. I don't think Elon Musk is a Nazi. I don't think Elon Musk is doing this to make money because he's the richest man in the world already. So I think Elon is truly doing this because he wants to do it. Now, there's maybe some ego involved in that. But everybody in politics has a bit of an ego. So I don't think that's what his motives are. And as I've said on previous shows, calling people Nazis is really a dumb thing to do unless they actually are a Nazi. But Donald Trump is not a Nazi. J.B. Pritzker's not a Nazi. I mean, we throw that word around too much. But so policy-wise, I'm totally in agreement with Musk and Trump. And protests in general, whether it's a Democrat protest like this or a Republican protest, total waste of time. That said, I don't think she used county resources. I think she has I guarantee you, Pete, I could find a Republican county treasurer somewhere that helped on or participated in a Republican campaign rally or a pro-Trump rally or an anti-Joe Biden rally. So that's how that goes. And like I said, if you don't like it, she's doing it because this is a Democrat county. She's playing to the base of her party, just as Republicans do in Republican areas.
I thought she told us that
that's how the game is played, man.
I thought she was like in a position where she doesn't have to vote on anything, so she didn't want to get into politics. Yes.
Well, that's a good point. The treasurer, offices like the treasurer, we talked about this with her, but offices like the treasurer don't get involved in some emotional issues like, say, a state legislator or a congressman does. So they can stay clear of that. That was the whole thing with when our friend Mary was running, Mary Cole for state's attorney. She doesn't get involved in all the abortion debates and all that stuff. She's the prosecutor. But she obviously, like I said, Trump lost Lake County badly, Pete. You can pull the numbers up yourself on the clerk website. So she's playing the numbers because she's running for re-election. She wants to stay in tune with the base of her party. And the majority of residents in Lake County don't like Donald Trump. I hate to tell you that.
Don't you think she should? Here. Hey, Skoo, what do you think about all this crap?
Exactly.
I mean, it is, like I said, the whole thing was a big waste of time. As I said earlier, I'd rather clean lint out of my dryer than go to a protest.
If I didn't go over there and talk to those people and ask them what they were protesting about, how would we know that they're there for no reason? So what's a protest against?
Musk and his buddies.
Like what are we like what are you guys protesting though?
Just the whole fact that he thinks he runs a country.
Like what particular issue?
How about firing people? It's just the way it's going. I mean,
that's your point, though, because they're cutting waste.
No, it doesn't.
No, I'm trying.
There's always room to cut waste.
Yeah.
There's a good way to do it, a bad way. And this is
have you ever worked at a company that had layoffs?
Oh, hell yeah.
Was it fair?
People off. I was a manager.
Yeah.
You do it fairly.
Yeah. Well, how do you?
You don't take the first 200 and say, yeah.
Well, you do take last in, first out, though, right?
Exactly right.
So the probationary workers, that was a good thing to move them along.
They're laying people off that are good workers.
Hey, maybe nobody would know about the protest.
450.
And they would have just sat there. Look, you remember that protest in front of the high school for Gaza or whatever, and the 6 kids that walked out, and then there were more counter protesters on the other side? What did that accomplish? Did these anti-Musk protesters, 3 months ago, these were the same people waving Palestinian flags carrying from the river to the sea banners. So, I mean, their protests, This is the protest du jour right now is Musk. Before that, it was Free Palestine. Before that, it was some other issue. And 6 months from now, they'll be protesting some other crap.
Joe, since you make a living off of politics, I can't fathom what is their argument that we're finding ways, we're getting rid of it. Why are they?
Just like a lot of the people in the MAGA base, Pete, they're irrational. You can't have a conversation with them. I've seen this on both. This cuts both ways, Pete. What?
77 million people are MAGA people.
No, I voted for Trump, but I'm not MAGA.
You voted for him. You're MAGA.
I voted for him, but I'm not going to wear that silly red hat and all that stuff. I went to his inauguration, Pete, I'm glad he beat Kamala Harris, but I still, I agree with him on some things and I disagree with him on other things. So, and again, and it doesn't matter. My vote or your vote doesn't matter. It's those voters that go back and forth, the swing voters. That's who matters. Those swing voters, they vote, they go back and forth. There's people in Wisconsin, go up to the Brat Stop and you'll find people that voted in 2016 for Donald Trump, in 2020 for Joe Biden, and 2024 for Donald Trump. Those are your voters that you got to figure out in order to win an election. The swing voters. I mean, I know you don't like hearing that. I know you think of it in black and white.
What did you say?
I just said they're swing voters. I mean, Skoo, I know you're not in politics, and when we do the insurance show, I'll sit back. But there's the swing voters are what matter. Look, Pete, just take our own city of Lake Forest. Okay, yeah. Mary Cole won Lake Forest. Donald Trump lost it. So who are these people that voted for Mary Cole, then also voted for Kamala Harris? Those are your swing voters.
If you are an influencer, you're influencing somebody to do something. The Lake County Democrats influence their people to get all hot and bothered to do what? To come out.
Right. They're playing to their base. They're probably trying to get donated.
They're playing what?
They're trying to look. Both parties play to their base, which I think is a bad strategy in the long run. But they do it for fundraising. I am sure that these people are giving money to the Lake County Democratic Party. I'm sure they're walking door to door for the Lake County Democratic Party. And I said, like I said, if I go over to McHenry County, which is a Republican county, they do the same stuff, man. You play to your base to get people to give you money and to do the campaign work. But then you have to balance that with playing to the swing voters who elect your candidates.
Lauren Gash,
Lauren Beth Gash,
Lake County Democrat, said she would come on the show.
Did she? Lauren Beth did?
Oh yeah, but she's busy right now.
Well, I mean, look, if she can come on a later date, that's great. I mean, like I said, Holly said Holly will come on. It's just we got to work out a different time for her.
And what is she going to say?
Well, let's find out.
Okay, well, here.
I don't know.
Okay, Joe, but Holly had her live feed. I had my live feed going at the same time. I'm having a discussion with her. What did you pick up on that discussion?
Nothing.
Okay.
You were like two ships passing in the night.
Okay. No, I think it was more like two ships stuck. She couldn't say whether it was okay or not to use Elon Musk as help, right? Even though she made that post. And to me, that she's influencing. I think she's influencing it for political gain, and
Well, of course. I mean, she said on our show that she's simply running for re-election as treasurer this year. She's not moving up if there's offices opening up elsewhere. That said, look, she's young. She has a future in the Democratic Party. So you're going to play up to the base. So the base sees you. Go look at Brad Schneider's social media. All right. Right now, he's bashing Trump. Okay. Because
he's putting out PDFs to show the immigrants how to hide from ICE.
Okay. Well, because in his district and in Illinois, that is a politically popular issue to do. Now, if you go to a more conservative area, it's the opposite. It's the opposite way. They're playing to their base. And here's the problem with that. There's no more. We're losing the center. We've got everybody's in these silos.
There is no center. There's left and right.
Well, no,
The
there's
silo
still yeah,
a couple of weeks ago was pretty good.
Where the silo?
I
Yeah,
recommend
that's the
everyone
only
to go to
the
the
only
silo.
silo I ever want to be in is the place on 176 for some pizza.
But it's civil war out there, buddy. It is.
And that's why voter turnout keeps going down, Pete.
It's civil
because
war.
People are like, screw it. I don't like either one of these guys.
No,
nobody wins elections anymore. It's the other guy loses.
I think, you know what there is, Joe and Skoo? I think there are the people out there that had money handed to them that didn't work for it, that feel guilty, and they're the ones that say, "Oh, I'm going to go out and protest." Then
Well, there is that. It's called the limousine liberals.
Yeah, okay. And then
we had a limousine liberal try to become mayor of Lake Forest last year. Thank God that didn't happen.
Okay, and then there's the people that
heard that one.
Then there's people that started from zero, worked their ass off to get where they need to be, like Elon Musk. Okay.
Get started. Take us back to when you really started all of this.
Well, that was the summer of '95. I had no money whatsoever. I was working, doing research in Silicon Valley on a completely different subject and trying to start this company at the same time. And when it came time to decide, do I want to do graduate studies or do I want to start this company? And I decided to start the company. I had no money. As a graduate student, I would have received a scholarship and a stipend and so forth. In starting the company, I had nothing. I had no income source. So we found that an office was actually cheaper than an apartment in Silicon Valley. So we got this dinky little office that had a leaky roof. It was just the nastiest place you can imagine.
And you lived in it too?
And I lived in it too and showered at the YMCA. This lasted for about 3 or 4 months. And the reason we chose this office, in addition to it being really cheap, was that there was an internet service provider on the floor below. So we were able to get really cheap internet access by drilling a hole in the floor and connecting to their server directly.
You know, this industry is so young, and we don't really know where it's going. But what do you see as the future of the internet?
I think the internet is the superset of all media. It is the be-all and end-all of media. One will see print, broadcast, arguably radio, essentially all media folding into the internet. And what the internet amounts to is it's the first of two-way communication medium that is intelligent. It allows consumers to choose what they want to see, when they want to see it, and whether that be radio, whether that be print, whether that be television, broadcast. I think it's going to revolutionize all traditional media.
To get where they need to be, and they feel the money coming out of their pocket, and they have to hold people accountable. And it's
absolutely policy-wise, you're right on. You're right on, Pete. Absolutely. But the political end of it is people are so, you can't have a conversation. And I guarantee if you went to a Trump rally somewhere and started to talk to people about issues, you'd get slogans thrown at you too, because whatever they heard on Fox or Newsmax or Tucker Carlson or whatever crap they're watching that day.
There was only 30 Republicans or so there.
Right, because it was a counter protest. And
whatever.
And you know what? I would tell those 30 Republicans, what the hell are you doing wasting your time? Don't waste your time on that. But I'm the guy that knows that doesn't affect the outcome of elections. None of these people do. So it's a lot of base. Look, and the other part of this that always bothers me is what I call the cult of personality. Not that song, but there's a cult of these people 10 years ago or whatever.
You people.
These people were driving
Isn't
Teslas.
that part of the problem? Keep saying these people and you people.
You people. Actually, Rush Limbaugh always used to say that. You people. The same people that were protesting Elon Musk 10 years ago were worshiping Elon Musk. They were buying Teslas. Look, half of Highland Park had Teslas driving around. So there's the cult of personality is bad on both sides, whether it's Donald Trump and Elon Musk or Barack Obama. Remember everybody wearing those Obama shirts when he was running and stuff, and he was the second coming of Jesus, just like a lot of the MAGA people think Donald Trump is. It's just that the policies are what's important, and I think people are losing the ability to have rational discussions about issues, and you saw that by trying to interview them. They couldn't. They're shouting slogans they heard on MSNBC. And like I said, if you went to the Trump side of the rally, you'd be hearing slogans shouted that they heard on Newsmax or Fox.
I did go to both sides, and at one point, I was on the Democrat.
Swinger.
I was walking back and forth.
We've heard that about him.
And then I was pointing at the Republicans. I said, "You guys suck." And I don't know, somebody there I didn't know. I tried to walk back over there, and he didn't know I was being funny, and he said, "Get the hell out of here." So I got.
See, I mean, it's just there's no ability to talk and rationalize and accept. Look, one of the beefs I have with MAGA world is you can agree with Donald Trump on 95% of things, and they hate you because you don't agree with him on the other 5%. That's a problem. And it cuts both ways. You can go over to the Democratic side, same deal. I mean, you see, a guy like, who's the senator in Pennsylvania that was on Rogan? Yeah, Fetterman. Fetterman is like the new Joe Manchin. They hate him now because he had the audacity to vote on one vote for cabinet with Donald Trump. Okay. All the others, he voted against Trump's picks like the rest of them. But there was one, I think it was Pam Bondi, that he voted yes on. And he might as well be, he's a rhino now. And that's the problem is there's like this all or nothing mentality. And like I said, I think the vast majority of the voters are in the middle. And I think I can go back the last like 20, 30 years in elections.
There's no middle. There's no middle.
Yes, there is, because why do elections go back and forth between DNR, Pete?
Because I think
so. There is a middle.
I think people have
There's a middle
here. 77 million people said fix this shit, and you got people.
And how many voted for Kamala Harris? About 75 million, right?
All I know is 77 beats 75, and if
I understand, he won the popular vote, he won the Electoral College, though it was not a landslide. But
great song,
Joe. 77. When a Republican
and Smashing Pumpkins
president wins the popular vote,
Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, Joe.
Look, I don't know. I walked amongst the people and talked to them, and I to come.
Let me ask you this, Pete. Do you think if the election was held again today, Trump would get that same number?
No, he'd get more.
Never happened.
I don't know. I mean, right now it doesn't matter because there's no election. But here's the question. Here's the thing.
Question?
I know Trump is term limited and can't run again. But there's elections next year in Congress. Okay, midterm elections. He has the most razor thin majority in both the House and Senate. You had to have J.D. Vance there breaking the tie on some of those votes in the Senate. That's how close it is. All right. If the mood of the country come election day 2026
I thought that was J.D. Souther.
If the mood of the country come 2026 is I'm not any better off than I was 2 years ago, Trump's going to lose the House and or Senate. And then all the stuff he's doing now gets undone. So you have to balance this with the politics of winning. All right. And that's what presidents before him have found. That's why Ronald Reagan dialed down on some things. He said later on in interviews after he left, he said, I wanted to do more. I wanted to cut more, but I knew this was about all I could get politically without losing things, because he knew that something was better than nothing. And he knew that if you didn't win the election, you wouldn't get to do any of what you wanted. So got to be careful. Like Elon waving that axe or whatever at CPAC. What a stupid move. I would have told him to his face. I said, look, I'm with you, Elon, on the policy.
The Argentinian president gave him a gift and he picked it up.
Okay. Bad optics. Really bad optics, man.
Why?
I'm just telling you. Why? Because every person in the middle.
I voted for him to do that.
You didn't vote for Elon. You voted for Trump. But
I voted for the policy. Yeah.
Okay. But Pete, The swing voter that you don't get.
Joe, you're nose deep in bureaucracy yourself, brother.
No, it's not true at all. Pete, I'm the guy that cut a lot of programs over the years. I'm the one that laid off people in government jobs. Okay, so please, I know
you sound like the guy
I am the anti-bureaucrat. There's a lot of bureaucrats in state and local government that do not like me because of some of the things I did in my career. So please. That said, though, you got to win an election, Pete, and your vote doesn't matter. My vote doesn't matter. And Lauren Beth Gash's vote doesn't matter. Holly Kim's vote doesn't matter because they're an automatic D or an automatic R. It's those people in the middle, Pete. It's that simple. And if you blow that, people voted for Trump because they were unhappy with the economy. And if the economy is good in 2026, come election time, he'll keep his Congress. If it's bad, he'll lose his Congress, and then he'll lose his ability to govern. Period. I mean, it's a simple fact. It's the economy, stupid.
No, stupid is saying that you don't have the right technology to get checks cut in the county office, and then you protest against a leader that's coming in trying to fix it. That's stupid.
I mean, that's a fair public policy criticism.
Right.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that.
Thank you.
I agree. We need to. Hey, can you name another president that besides Reagan or Trump that cut spending in our lifetime?
Are you talking about the last time we had a surplus?
In our lifetime, there's been 3 presidents
that was
who have Bill Clinton. Yeah, Clinton did it in a way. Clinton didn't showboat it. He just did it, and the economy was so good.
Clinton was doing other things.
Well, that's of course his personal life was a big problem.
No, it became
but dude, policy wise, the guy always won because every time there was an election, when he ran for re-election, the economy was so good that poor Bob Dole, who was much more deserving of being president than Bill Clinton ever was, poor Bob Dole didn't stand a chance because the economy was good. It was like I said, I don't think people win elections anymore. I think the other side loses. Because people they hate the other candidate more than this one. Nobody votes for a person anymore. They vote against the other one. They're like, I'm sick of Trump in 2020, so they voted for Biden. I'm sick of Biden and Harris in 2024, so they voted for Trump. So the question's going to be how they feel come 2026 for the midterms, and then the presidential election in 2028. Who's the nominee? Is it J.D. Vance? Is it Marco Rubio? Who's the Democratic nominee? All that stuff, Pete, because if you don't win an election, all this stuff goes away.
You should run, Joe.
Yeah, nope. Joe.
Because I wouldn't get it out. I wouldn't get out of a Republican primary these days.
Finally we got, to me, the perception I have is things are trying to get cleaned up, and then we have people trying to stop it, and it's stupid.
Like I said, policy-wise, I totally agree.
Okay.
And the technology and stuff, but sometimes, Pete, it's not how you do something, it's how you say it.
And in this climate of, which I do think... I
think COBOL and C+ programming is awesome.
1962.
They still had COBOL at the state of Illinois when... in the comptroller's office.
One company I worked for, a big insurance company, I worked in their corporate office, could not get off of C+ and COBOL, and they're probably still on it because they're the #1 user of, hang on, the AS400. It's IBM's #1 customer.
So wait, so businesses too are behind in the technology? Well, I've heard some of the older legacy companies like Allstate and State Farm have very antiquated technology.
Allstate is the #1 user of the AS400, which is extinct.
There you go.
How much money could it cost?
It's not just government that needs a reinventing. It's some businesses, but that's why a guy like Elon coming in and building a company from scratch, offering very great products and doing great things with now this the satellite stuff he's doing and stuff. Great stuff, I think, has a lot to offer. I don't have any issue with the President of the United States bringing in somebody from the outside to help them make policy decisions.
But
Barack Obama did it with Barack Obama brought in Warren Buffett.
When you're going into a company that is on archaic systems, You can't go into that company and completely wipe it out. You have to transition and build that and
Parallel
slowly
system.
weed off it before you can.
Sure.
Companies that have gone in and slashed and burned old systems doesn't work.
Good point.
Now, you
You're
can
right.
transition people out of there but you can't just go in there and drop in a new software on an old software and expect it to work. And,
Legacy
You're right.
systems. I hear you, brother. So,
there's
But back
tons
to
of
my point
companies
is,
on legacy systems, and the power of the legacy system is that you can custom program it and put that square peg in a round hole. It sucks and it doesn't work for the end user,
and
but
it's slow.
it's slow and it doesn't. But
the whole notion of it, back to your original thing about Holly's post, no one elected Elon Musk, no one elected Warren Buffett, yet he was advising Barack Obama as much as Elon is advising Donald
Why would
Trump.
you even bring him? Why don't you bring up George Soros? That's where the money is. Well,
Soros, absolutely, same thing. Now the Fauci, I heard the Fauci name used a couple times. That's a bad analogy. I don't agree with anything much of what Fauci did.
They were shouting
but
KKK in front of my face. What was that about?
That's just stupid.
Driving cars have been in hundreds of.
No KKK! No fascists!
Oh,
USA!
you throw KKK in there. That's pretty strong.
Trump. No KKK!
No KKK.
No fascists! In the USA!
The Nazis have been some.
No Trump!
And he's been some.
That's just BS.
How do you connect the dots to it, though? What does that mean? Like, did Trump, was he racially averse against?
Well, I think it goes back to that comment he supposedly made that he says he didn't make at that there was a KKK rally in, I think it was West Virginia when he was president. The first. Look, KKK is some serious
elves.
horrible stuff. They're evil.
Those three little elves.
There was some kind of KKK rally, and KKK and Nazis. Just absolutely the worst people you could think of. Having a rally in, I think it was Charlottesville, West Virginia.
Like 40 years ago.
And Trump, no, it was when Trump was president, like 2018. And
wait, he was president?
Trump made a dumb comment saying there's good people on both sides. Now, he later clarified it and all that, but the cat was out. The train had left the station at that point. You say something like that, they're going to call you a KKK guy. But in my lifetime, Pete, every president from both parties have had detractors from the other side call them Nazis and KKK. Reagan, the two Bushes, Bill Clinton, Obama, Biden. I don't agree with much of what J.B. Pritzker did during COVID, but I thought it was horrible that these people were putting up posters of Pritzker with a Hitler mustache. Really, seriously? The guy's Jewish. So, look, Skoo, I know you're not into this as much as and I respect that. You're probably the swing voter we're talking about here. I don't know. You keep it close to the vest.
You're very passionate, Joe, and almost to the point of passion that you're arguing.
I'm just calling it as I see it. Look, Pete's calling it as he sees it. I call it as I see it, and that's that. So I don't think any. Like I said, Pete, what got accomplished on Saturday? What got accomplished by anybody?
I think what got accomplished that Holly Kim got to flex her social media muscles to show that she can bring out a crowd. Okay, that's great marketing prowess, but if you're going to influence those people to come out, you should influence that these are the reasons why we're out here, other than we don't like this person.
That wasn't what her goal was. Her goal was to get more people to support her if she runs for another office as a Democrat.
That's not what she said, but
to write a check. Of course, she's not going to tell you that, but I just did.
Did she give out any freebies?
Hot chocolate and.
Look,
They say hot chocolate and chicken soup to the soul. That's how you get people.
I'm very happy to get. First of all, I never want to be in a spot where I don't want to listen to somebody else's point of view. I do. Now, people shouting slogans at you like they did on Saturday, that's a waste of your time. But if somebody can come on here, it's Holly, Susan Garrett,
Democrats
Lauren Beth Gash. I want to hear. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to.
They have nothing to say, Joe. They just say you're wrong. That's it. It's a line.
If all they say is you're wrong, our audience will discern that. Okay, there's a thing called discernment, Pete.
Okay,
what do you want them to say?
But if they come on and give points and counterpoints,
There is no
I
counterpoint.
think that's a good.
I talked
you
to Holly
ignorant
on-
slut.
That's what discussions are all about, man.
Joe, I had a discussion with Holly. There was nothing there. Nothing.
Okay, maybe it was a little cold for Holly out there, and her
there's
brain
nothing
wasn't
there.
thinking. And you get her inside
She's
next
looking
to
to
a
move up the
microphone, she'll
ladder,
talk.
and she's turning into one of them.
I thought she was a construction worker.
Pete, you
Hey,
just
that was
did you
Holly
just
Kim?
wake up on
one
Saturday
of
and realize
them.
Holly was a liberal Democrat now? Did you just realize that? Because
She
I could
comes
go back
across as
all
no,
her
she's
years.
part of the, she's a centrist.
Pete, go back and look at all of her social media posts way before that. She was a Democrat all along, man. You just figured this out? Boy, she played you really well.
Why didn't nobody ask me why I'm there?
They're afraid of you. You're,
I mean,
you're
that's fine.
7
Look,
feet tall. Why is
I'm an
anyone's
old man.
I mean,
I'm an
geez,
old man.
I'm just glad nobody shot you, man. I mean, people get all agitated these days. Who knows what could happen?
Yo, why would you say that?
I mean, it's unfortunately those things like that happen. So I mean, and this one guy's threatening Pete and all, and then you know what's even worse than the people at the protest?
And Pete
The
was probably really scared of that guy threatening him.
The keyboard warriors afterwards that sat there. I kept getting alerts on my phone every time somebody commented, and I had to turn them off because I'm like, I don't care. And then some like-minded Republicans would chime in and argue with them. I'm like, don't waste your time, please. Just who cares about these keyboard warriors sitting in their underwear making unhinged comments?
Hey, all my detractors, have fun speaking to the Pete bot.
I just, like I said, I hate that. I hate all of that virtue signaling and stuff. And it, like I said, it cuts both ways, Pete. If you think one side's better than the other, I hate to tell you you're wrong.
Look, can we be in an agreement that in this existence right now, I have not seen anything where the government is trying to correct itself. Have you guys?
Well, I have heard. I don't agree with, but
be simple. Have you seen a president try to do what he's trying to do now?
Yes.
Who?
Reagan, Bill Clinton.
Okay. What did they do?
Reagan cut taxes more than any other president before or since. And Reagan was the very first president. The first president to cut taxes was JFK.
I'm talking about fixing the fundamental.
But if you cut taxes, you also need to cut spending. Okay, you can't do tax cuts without spending cuts, or you get huge deficits. So, Reagan was the JFK cut taxes, so he was for Reaganomics before Reagan. But Reagan was the first president to actually say, you know what? The federal government's out of control. Government spending's out of control. Go look at that video I posted on my page of Reagan saying it in a lot more calm, rational way than some people. But Reagan was the one that set the idea that government should be smaller and smarter.
Did Reagan cut?
Yeah, but what did he do
after?
about it?
Yeah, he cut. Yes, he cut stuff, but he didn't cut as much as. Yes, he did cut stuff. He did make cuts. By his own admission, he didn't get as much cut as he wanted because he didn't have the votes to do it. Okay, and he didn't have the political capital. Here's the dirty little secret about tax cuts and spending cuts. Everybody loves getting a tax cut. You know what question I would have asked all those people at that rally if I had been foolish enough to go? I would have said, okay, so when you get your $5,000 check from the federal government. Oh, did you ask that? Okay. Yeah. Are you going to cash it? I'd like to see one of them say, no, I'm not going to cash it. Did any of them tell you no?
Turn around. They turn it. Government. Can I have your $5,000 check if it comes?
No, you can't.
Oh, all right. But you're going to cash it, though.
Of course.
That's what when I say they, on the other side of the line, they just turn around, you're wrong, and they walk away. That's their debate style.
Yeah, see, they can't answer that because they're going to cash it.
Whatever.
They're going to cash it. Here's what they'll do. They'll take the check. They did this last time when Trump did a tax rebate. Because Trump puts his name on it, of course. And they'll put they'll write something about Trump, probably obscene. and put it on the check. They'll take a picture of it. They'll post it on social media, but then they'll take it to the bank and cash it. So, you know,
I thought we were talking today about the people in Lake Forest not picking up their dog waste.
It seems to me that there's an imaginary trash can
I can
of
see
a bunch of poop bags aggregating in a certain area.
especially when it's getting warm out again. We haven't settled that. Why are those trash cans? I've noticed, Pam's noticed a couple on our walks too. That man, the cans are gone. I don't get it. More power. I'm glad that people are at least picking it up, but hang on to it for crap's sake.
Customer service.
Till you get to a freaking can. I mean, is it that difficult?
I mean, they're adding up.
I love the picture you said. I love the picture, though. At least they're getting where the can used to be.
I mean, as you said, people have their own way of protesting. All right, Skoo, bring it up.
Good change of pace.
Okay.
Come on. Seriously,
Let's throw them in jail.
I wouldn't go that far.
Why not?
Well, they need to pick it up.
Those type of D-bags need to go in the
I assume there's an ordinance on the books about picking up your dog waste,
littering.
Right? Okay.
Yeah,
So
instead they pick it up and they leave it in the bag in someone's yard.
So if you were to observe that and you called the police and the police came, would they arrest? Would they charge? What would happen?
I did observe it. I had some knucklehead in my front yard with two little dogs taking a crap in my yard, and the guy actually took a bag out, looked around, bent over, and pretended like he picked it up. Turned and started walking until I banged on the window and said, "What are you?" And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "When you bend over and waste that much time,
pick it up.
Pick it up and throw it." And then he got all pissed and picked it up and, kind of gave me a look like I'm an asshole. I was like, dude, it's my yard. And you should have just walked away instead of pretend.
Get off my lawn.
But this goes to a bigger issue of people have lost their minds in this
I can
country
take a
on
wheelbarrow
so many things.
and walk around town and pick up all the bags of crap that are laying in the town, in the city, in Market Square and all that. And I would not have a big enough wheelbarrow.
You'd have to go over to the dump on 60 in the compost part. Talk
about beautifying our community.
But you see it on so many other things too. I mean, you're driving in traffic and people are cutting people off and giving people the finger and all sorts of crazy. People have lost their mind. Not everyone, but there's enough that are doing stuff like pooping or leaving their dog poop in your yard or cutting people off on the street. I mean, it's just we've lost or shouting obscenities at each other at a protest in Libertyville.
You're not smart.
We've lost common courtesy in this country, in society.
Skoo, you ever work at a regular company?
Do I?
Yeah. Have you ever worked at a regular company?
I worked in Allstate's corporate office for 18 years. Is that a regular company?
That's a regular company.
Down by the building that just got knocked down.
Is that a 1099 or a regular employee?
I was a regular employee.
Okay. Did you have layoffs there?
We had tons of layoffs.
All right. Were they fair?
You had to show your worth.
Yeah. Do you think it's unreasonable to say, hey, this is what I did last? Did you have a one-on-one with your boss?
All the time.
Yeah. What did he ask you? What'd you do last
What
week?
have you done for me lately?
Why is that?
You got to show up earlier in the office because your peers who are fighting for that promotion are showing up earlier than you. I'm like, damn. All right.
77 million people think that way, Skoo.
I don't know if everybody who voted for Donald Trump thinks that way. I agree with it.
Think what way?
That people have to
meritocracy, Joe.
Where Pete's going is Elon wants every federal employee to write every Friday what they did, five things they did for the past week.
There are people out there that have a job that they didn't have for 20 years because of what they did politically. There are people out there that busted their ass. Maybe you got in there and busted your ass, but still, there are people, 77 million people that say, you know what? I am judged every day based on my performance. Why isn't the government?
I don't agree.
Hey,
I agree with you.
Hey, listen.
Pete, I don't think that's why people
had,
voted for Trump, though.
Hey, Allstate.
They voted for Trump because the economy sucks.
No.
Okay.
Jesus.
Well, he's making a point. I wanted to correct him.
Come up for air.
You sound like one of them.
When I was at Allstate, they had, I don't know how many times, Anderson Consulting, McKinsey, come in and make recommendations on how to improve the company. And inevitably, it always involved people. Always. And the funny with Allstate, why I mentioned that is because where the real cuts should have been in the technology as time evolved. And I was one that worked in it and knew that. But no one wanted to cut technology because that old archaic technology involved numerous amounts of people. Allstate, when I left there, was in the top 5 technology or system companies and in the top 5 marketing companies. Wait, isn't it an insurance company? Okay, that's what I thought.
Sears.
Just saying.
Did you work at Sears or Allstate?
I was there when Sears sold them off, right at the beginning of the whole.
What was the transition like? Smooth?
From Sears to Allstate?
Yeah.
No, it was non-existent because Allstate had their own people. You didn't have Sears people overlap. You had board members, but I mean, it was a very smooth transition.
And the people that you kept on. Now, this is a couple of things about layoffs that people got to understand. Number one, you got to do it deep. You got to get rid of more people than you think you got to get rid of because you want to do it once.
Right.
Right. And there has to be some type of differentiation within the company to know who the good employees are and who are the less good employees.
And let me tell you why you need to do it deep is because when that rumor goes out on the mill, productivity is gone. Because it's all people do the entire day is talk about, is it us? Is it them? Who's it going to be? And you can't linger on that stuff. It has to be, quick. And if people aren't working, it happens all the time. We'll see.
I've had to, Pete, have you laid people off?
Yeah.
It's a reality.
I have.
What's the most you ever laid off?
An entire department, so probably about 6,000 people at the state.
What's the most expensive? If you took a company's dollar, what's the most expensive expense?
Are you talking about training?
No. If you said here's a company dollar, and try to break that out in a pie of what are all the expenses of that dollar.
Labor.
How much?
A third. So
that's why nobody talks about, Joe, what you were saying about Reagan. How many employees did they go after? None. They went all after processes and all that. But if you have to go to labor, it's the bulk of your expense.
Well, Reagan laid
nobody likes that.
Government. Reagan laid government workers off,
and nobody likes that point. Which I get it, but again, depending on how they do it, I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah, no.
There's no job.
And what I found is you have look. There are people, as Trump and Musk have pointed out, there are people that just aren't doing a job. And
here's the other thing: it's not first in, first out.
Right.
It's most productive.
It's all over the place.
But you also have
50-year employees hiding in closets and just taking a paycheck.
And
you also have people. You also have people. This is what I encountered when the state did this in the early '90s with
Joe. Did you ever work for a corporation?
Sure.
United States of Illinois.
But here's what I'm saying, and I'm sure this applies in private in stuff. You have people that aren't doing a job, okay, and that should be low hanging fruit. But then you have people who come to work every day, work very hard, do a great job at what they were told to do, but suddenly that job is no longer needed, or should never have been needed in some cases. Now that's where it gets really
it doesn't though, Joe, because here's
tough,
why.
though. I mean,
if you're in a position, Joe, if you're in a position in a company that job is going away, if you have established yourself as a value to the company and you can do other things, then you're going to get placed in another department because of the value you add to that company as a whole. If you don't, if you just sit there and do your thing 8 hours a day, come in and come out, you are self-fulfilling.
So there was a time when
that potential to get laid off, given a time when a company decides we got to cut expenses. And the only time when a company cuts expenses and its employees, it's because when they're in a drastic situation where they have to get rid of the most expensive part of the company. But it happens all the time. And
but you also have technology
up to each
that
individual person to reinvent themselves on a daily basis.
you also have things like when I started with the state in 1990s, early 90s, they still had elevator operators. And the reason why was because they still had manually operated elevators in a lot of state office buildings. So the guy that showed up every day operating the elevator, smiling at all the people getting on the elevator and making sure it was run safely and all that, that guy was doing what he was told to do and what he was hired to do. And suddenly we don't need you no more because we got automatic elevators now. So there is a human side of this. That this poor guy was doing everything he was supposed to do for all these years, and now you're telling him we don't need you no more. And when the Democrats bring this up about how terrible it is that Trump and Musk are doing this to federal employees, Joe Biden did the same thing essentially when he cut
let me tell you, Joe, that I'm going to use
Pete,
that,
Skoo, let me finish
that
this
elevator example. That elevator operator who is going to work every day and shuttling people up and down also is in his private life, he probably goes to a building that has a non-operator, and that person probably thinks, you know what, this is a great job, but I know it's coming. And if he doesn't reinvent himself and doesn't want to stay with the company and reinvent himself to do other things, because every person in a corporation, they're not in silos, they have opportunity to learn about another part of the company and put that quiver in their back so they can learn more about the company. If you don't do it,
I totally agree. And
it's
AI
inevitable.
AI is going to eliminate a lot of more jobs like that as the years go on.
Depends.
Okay, but my point I was about to say is the Democrats going after Trump and Musk saying, how dare you do this to these poor federal workers? Joe Biden just did the same thing when he cut the Keystone Pipeline, when he stopped the Keystone Pipeline. I think it was 100,000 pipeline workers and people in the oil industry.
He did and what they did and all that.
But I'm just saying, I'm pointing out the hypocrisy of the Democrats.
It's about the job
criticism.
you do.
Yeah.
Every single person knows their stake in the company and their value to the company. If they choose not to, or they choose not to work and all that, then it's inevitable. Someone's going to come knocking on your door, and
I get it.
Sorry for them.
I agree. I agree. But the problem was, for many years in this country, both in the government and in the private sector, Skoo, you had people that had basically the same job, same career for life. Look at the auto workers in Detroit. Okay, they didn't work for the government, but they came to work every day at GM or Ford or whatever, building their cars, and everybody bought their cars, and everything was wonderful. Detroit had a great middle-class community and stuff, and then boom.
But nothing was ever guaranteed like the federal employee, because no party either side would ever go and touch that employee. And that thing just build and build and build. Now you got someone that's
I don't know about ever, because like I said, Reagan and Clinton did it. Reagan and Clinton both cut employees and cut agencies. So yes, never. Now, on the scale that Trump is trying to do, right, you're correct. No one has done it on that scale. The question will be, Reagan wanted to do it on the scale that Donald Trump is doing now, but he realized politically he couldn't. He made a calculated decision that, hey, I've done some of what I wanted. I can't get any more, or I'm going to lose.
Joe, when you get riffed, or there's a difference, because companies
reduction in force,
like government, offer you a package to leave voluntarily.
8 months is pretty good.
And, you know, they're good packages, and people have options to take them or not. But if you don't take them and you're part of that, then again, you are risking, you know, decide to stay and not take the package. Well, you know,
I agree.
You're risking the fact, like, you know, there's self-reflection about going, okay, why am I being offered this?
Right. I'm just saying to Pete,
whether you're a government employee or a private sector
totally
employee,
agree.
why am I getting
totally agree? I riffed people, so I get it.
In summary, 77 million people voted to get this
for a better economy, not for that.
Joe, they voted to get this stuff fixed. They did.
Right. And if the economy's better in 2026, they'll vote for him again. But if not, they won't.
And one of the things that the people voted for was to fix this immigration thing. And when you
that's a valid that's a valid issue.
Okay. And then you're going out there and you're promoting how to skirt that. I don't want to say treason, but there's something not right about that. Okay. Right. So my observations, what I saw, the Democrats in this state, in this county, have the ability to rile up people, and these people don't know what they're riled up about. They just know they're riled up. Okay. Second observation is a lot of old people standing in snow.
That one guy with the cane who kept on and off arguing with you was
a lot of teachers, a lot of union people.
Oh, shocking.
Okay. And a lot of WBEZ hats.
You're not shocking me. I believe it. I mean, I just, like I said, there's a middle ground here there is amongst the voters, Pete. I would say 80% of the voters are in the middle, and they go back and forth, man. I'm just telling you, I can pull you reams of data to show you this.
Well, I'll tell you what, pull up the Harvard.
It's the economy, stupid. Fix the economy and you win.
Harvard just came out with a poll that Democrats like to use.
Again, people, when people are involved with reductions in force and all that, it's because it's a last resort, whether it's private or public. So if there's something drastic going on in the government that can't cut policies and all that, that's, of course they're going to go after the people. Private companies do the same thing.
This is on this bureaucracy scale. This is like the major leagues. This is like the all-star team.
When do I get my tax cut?
When your $5,000?
Yeah, when's that coming?
I don't know. Maybe after the Epstein files. I'd love to see. You know,
I'm more interested in the tax cut than the Epstein files.
Day one.
Musk isn't actually firing people, right? He doesn't have that authority.
Musk is taking his team of big bald people and going in and getting the data to give to Trump to say, hey man, this is what needs to be done, and it's up to Trump and the people that.
But Musk isn't firing people. He's bringing like a consultant, like a McKinsey or Anderson or Ernst Young, that type of stuff. They're bringing broad.
Well, and the problem is he's made it such about him that's why you have, again, the cult of personality, people out there
who made it about
choosing to protest at a Tesla dealership that has zero actually to do with it. But that's the problem there, and that's why,
he's not
like I
firing
said,
people. He's bringing it to his boss.
Right.
Here's what I found.
He's advising, just as Warren Buffett advised Obama and Clinton.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's the same.
Because I've heard he's firing people. I don't know if that's true or not. That's why I'm asking.
So again, Pete, I keep saying this. It's the economy, stupid. People vote for their own pocketbook. Okay.
I'm quite offended, Joe, because I don't like that word, and you're pointing that at me.
Yeah.
Hey, talk to James Carville. He created that phrase. I'm just saying, people vote their pocketbook. Okay. Reagan had the best line in that debate against Jimmy Carter. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And that's what it comes down to. Every election is, am I better off than the last election?
I think people got a little taste of what the waste is, and they want more, and they want to pay less taxes, and wait till they start getting to the county level. That's all.
Tax cuts are popular. Spending cuts are not. I'm just telling you. I've seen this over the years. So let's see.
Spending cuts. Hold on, Joe. So Ethiopian condom budgets.
Well, that's easy. Yes, people
Yeah,
don't
okay.
want to see that. But you start talking about a program that somebody gets something out of, that's when people get pissed. Okay, I've seen this movie before, Pete.
Have you seen?
Everyone wants low taxes, but nobody wants to pay for it with spending cuts. I've seen it. Now, do you need the spending cuts to pay for the tax cuts? Yes.
Did you get this in your Republican boot camp back in the day? Because you're just
no.
It's like you're getting water tortured, and you're giving your
Joe, you are
Security
good
number.
at politics because I am completely confused on what you just said, and I think I'm a.
That's what it is.
Okay.
These people,
Pete,
Joe
Skoo,
included.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. You want me to? I could pull reams of polling data that shows you tax cuts get high approval ratings, spending cuts not so high. Just telling you.
I want my $5,000 check. I want the Epstein files. And
that's why I would have just done this without all the flash and dance like he's doing.
If you're going to get 400 people that are over the age of 80 to go out there stand in the snow, at least tell them why they're doing it. Holly.
I could care less about these 400 people standing in the snow, just like I could care less about 400 people in red hats in McHenry County standing in the snow protesting something
how
else.
Are you going to influence people? Like, do you want to
influence them by how they feel about their life when they go vote? That's how it is, man.
Skoo, what did you just say?
Pete, you can't answer my question, Pete.
What
Why
was the
is
question?
it that people?
I'm so lost. I feel like I'm talking to Holly.
Okay, let me make it simple for you, Pete.
Yeah.
Why is it that Republicans win some elections and Democrats win others? Why?
Because they're binary choices. Oh, can I say binary?
But why did Mary win?
Some people want
Lake
handouts.
Why did Mary win Lake Forest and Trump lost it? Why?
Some people want to work. Some people want handouts.
Hey, Joe, who cares who wins what? Isn't it about who won the national election, not community?
True, but we are the Lake Forest podcast, so I'm looking at the next Lake Forest election and the election beyond
it's the
that.
Lake Forest podcast, but you venture off into other areas.
Pete's the one that brought up the topic, man. I'm just responding to the
is right
topic
next
here.
to Lake Forest, and there were
Libertyville votes very differently than Lake Forest, though they do have a Republican. They have a Republican-leaning mayor, Donna Johnson, who's doing a nice job there, and she's in a tough re-election fight. So maybe we should get her on. She's good.
Why no one can vote for her in Lake Forest? Why would we get her?
Well, we get some Libertyville viewers. I know some people in Libertyville that watch us. We had Casey Urlacher on. Nobody votes for Casey in Lake Forest, but
Casey at least tells you something.
Casey
owes the people that ran Lake Forest 20 years ago a big kiss because that Costco should have been in Lake Forest, and we basically handed it to Mattawa.
You know what? You want a guest? Get Casey on. At least he can.
You haven't had Casey on. Well, sure, I like Casey. I like him.
At least he can give you talk. He can talk to you versus this bullcrap. Anyways, Skoo.
Hey, Scouts are playing tonight in playoffs.
Oh,
Vernon Hills.
yeah.
Ooh.
Basketball.
Against who?
Number 2 seed.
Where?
Vernon Hills.
Oh, in Vernon Hills? Ooh. What time?
Protest.
7 maybe.
All right, I'll try to go.
Number 2 seed.
But I don't get to hear your voice if it's an away game. Damn.
Yeah, well.
Are you allowed to record your voice, Skoo, and then?
Am I what?
Can you record your voice, or does the high school own the rights to your voice? Can high school do AI generation of your voice and just?
I'm sure you already have.
Actually,
do you go to the away games?
I might. It's a good team. Go on, see them. You want to see good defense?
Yeah, no, I've heard. I've been following them, and I'm
progress in the regionals, sectional, and super sectionals.
All for the Scouts here.
All for the Scouts, and we're all for moving things forward. If there's somebody that would like to offer a different viewpoint and actually have some views, I'd love to hear them, but they just don't exist. Skoo Walker, Joe Weiss.
Pick up your poop.
Pick up your crap.
Throw it in the garbage.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, the dog's poop. I thought you meant mine. Sorry.
You got to go back to that boot camp, dude. All right, boys, later. The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, JM, and Paul G.